The Beast offense is designed to bully defenses. I'm going to show you how you could punch back. Now, when it comes to defending the Beast, there's a couple different things you have to take into account. Um, I'll get through those in a second, but I just want to show you guys. If you're not part of this group, you should definitely join it. It is the biggest, the best, and the most active Beast offense resource on Facebook. It's not even close. We have 3,600 plus members, so it's growing every day. We're getting 300 new members a week. It's pretty wild. We're going to start generating more how to defend the Beast offense. Okay, and then obviously there's a bunch of plays. There's a whole bunch of playbooks here in our file section. So if you're not part of this group, you should definitely join it. All right, now defending the Beast offense. Right, first thing you have to understand is what's the objective of the Beast. Right, understand the Beast identity. The Beast utilizes unbalanced formations to try to create leverage and numbers advantage at the point of attack. Beast can also go balanced. So basically, they just want to send more blockers at the point of attack than you have defenders, right? I mean, it's football 101, honestly, right? You want to run where you have leverage, numbers, or player advantage. And the Beast and their formations allow you to get numbers, leverage, advantage pretty much every play. So coming from being a huge advocate for the Beast offense and running it with my team, I think it's important that you understand what the objective of the Beast offense is, what it's good at, before you really sit down and defend it. All right, so the Beast identity we went through. Um, Here's the best plays out of the Beast. Teams typically don't run it as their main offense. It's a lot of times it's a change up or a short yardage offense for us, for teams. For us, we run it more so as a mainstay. We're going to run our wing T and we're going to run our Beast offense. Those are the two offenses we run. All right, it's not just a short yardage offense for us, but for most teams, it's more so a couple plays, short yardage, things like that. But the best plays out of Beast are blast, power, sweep, wedge, ISO. When I say ISO, interior run, B gap run, counter, and then a play action pass. All right, so now some challenges. This is why the Beast is so good on the youth football level. Challenges, alignment calls. You need to install a whole new defensive alignment in just 3 practices. You know, the Beast formation, there are several different formations. So it really depends on your alignment, obviously depends on what Beast formation you're facing. But you know, you're gonna have to adjust your alignment just because you cannot allow the Beast to outnumber or out leverage you at the point of attack. So you're gonna have to have some new alignment adjustments more than just your basically shift right, shift left, or whatever calls you have to adjust to unbalance. So alignment calls and just setting up a new defense just for one game with only 3 practices isn't ideal, but it's almost necessary to stop it. All right. If they're multiple in the Beast, it's tough. Like I said, if they're running the same plays, they're running all these plays out of a balanced formation, an unbalanced line formation, the base Beast, which is double tight ends, 3-man surface each side, and the backfield's unbalanced. You know, it's tough if they're running the same stuff out of multiple formations because each formation presents alignment challenges for the defense, and that's if they run 3 Beast formations, you're going to have 3 different ways to align, right? You need to align specifically to the formation you're seeing, which won't get your defense outnumbered or out leveraged. Biggest thing with the Beast guys is just the formations, really. It's obviously it's the sheer numbers at the point of attack, but it's also the formations. It's tough to align to. Getting defenders to match the numbers at the point of attack, and I'm gonna get more into that because this is probably the biggest thing. Is the Beast just outnumbers you at the point of attack, right? So how are you going to get defenders to match the numbers so you're not outnumbered at the point of attack and then you could just play football? We're going to get pretty in-depth on that, all right, after we go through this. Now, mistakes defenses make. We have a really good video I did on YouTube last year about mistakes defenses make when they're defending my Beast offense. I'll include a link in the video description. Maybe I'll put it at the end screen of the video. It's a really good video. Has game film breakdown, things like that. So, you know, watching that video will help you defend the Beast better too. So definitely check that out. Now, mistakes defenses make. They don't align properly to the formation, to the Beast formation. They either overshift or they don't shift at all. They don't match numbers. They don't match unbalanced backfield with linebackers, and they don't match unbalanced lines with defensive lines. And I'm going to get a lot more into that as well. This is a big coaching point here. I'll dive deep into that after we go through this. Coaches don't scout or don't have unbalanced shift calls. All right, if you don't scout and these teams come out and run the beast formation, you're in trouble. You really need to practice against it. And you really need to make sure you have your shift calls so you could adjust to unbalance. So many teams don't scout. So many teams don't have a answer for unbalanced formations. They don't align properly. All right. And that's more so at the younger age levels. I think the beast offense is even more, it's explosive on any age level. I mean, you're seeing it in the NFL, college, high school, youth fields. Everyone's running some sort of direct snap formation. Everyone. It's just a fact. So it's great on all levels, but at the younger age levels, it's even more so explosive because these coaches don't scout. They're not going to practice alignments. They're not going to scout. So the beast shreds at the younger age levels. Coaches put all their defense. This is another big one too, and I'm going to touch on this in depth pretty after this as well. So this is a big point too. Coaches put all their defenders on the line of scrimmage, leaving no pursuit players. All right, this is one of the biggest mistakes defenses make. Is putting everyone on the line of scrimmage and thinking that's a sufficient answer. And then also they play man coverage against it. And again, I'll get more into that. All right. Now, just an overview of defending the beast. I have some play diagrams and stuff we're going to go through. I think it's under this. It is. Okay. So I'll take you through some play diagrams just to kind of show you how I would align out of my 3-5 stack and then how I would align out of the 44 defense. Those are the two defenses I run. All right. We're base 3-5 most of the time. We're a 3-5 stack defense. I have ran the 4-4 in years past, but defending the beast. All right. Now, alignment, assignment, attack. We call this the 3 A's. The 3 A's of defense, regardless whether we're playing a wing T team, a beast offense team, a spread team, I formation, which it doesn't matter. A gap scheme team, a zone scheme, it really doesn't matter. If you do the 3 A's well, you will play good defense regardless of the offense you're facing. So everything starts with us with the 3 A's. Alignment, assignment, attack. We cannot allow the offense to outnumber or outleverage us at the point of attack. All right, we must execute our assignments, get our right. Be responsible for our gap, take the proper pursuit paths, doing what we're supposed to do on every play, whether it's a blitz or just a base defense, all right? And then attack. At the end of the day, you want to run to the football. Obviously, you want to take the proper pursuit paths and all that, but at the end of the day, man, it's just getting to the football. We instill what we call a swarm mentality. We want to get to the football. And getting to the football will help naturally gain turnovers. Like if the running back fumbles, you got a bunch of people there, so you're more likely to recover it. It deters big plays because you have multiple people, you gang tackle. And then it's like, the swarm mentality, it's demoralizing, right? When you're constantly getting gang tackled, defense is running to the ball, they have energy. It's demoralizing for the offense. So align properly, execute your assignment and attack, and you will play great defense. All right. Now, adjust properly to the formation. Do not let them outflank you to the point of attack. So, again, it starts with proper alignment. You cannot allow them to attack. You cannot allow the offense to outnumber or outleverage you at the point of attack. Now, you want to stop their best plays. Okay, you want to scout. Do they run power, sweep, and counter? You need to see what they run. And then if they're running blast or power 60% of the time, you need to spend 60% of your practice time that you have committed to defense stopping power, right? And blast or whatever. If they run sweep 30% of the time, practice defending the sweep 30% of the time during the defensive session of practice. All right. So that's just a good starting point. Now you could scout. Do they switch the running backs as the direct snap player? Do they have one kid that's just all around good anywhere he runs? Do they have a kid they prefer to run sweeps because maybe he's a little smaller, maybe he's a little more faster, a better athlete? Do they have a kid that likes a direct snap and do they prefer to run him inside rather than outside? So these are all things you got to look for. Does the offense switch linemen? Do they put their best lineman to one side? Does the offense prefer to run to a particular side? Maybe they go beast left, 15 power because the left side of their line's a little bit better than their right, and they need a big play, or they need a big 3, or it's a big 3rd and 5, or 4th and 2, 4th and 3. They're gonna run best players, best plays, right? So that's all things you have to. That's all things you could learn when you scout. All right. And again, a lot of this, guys, is just fundamental football, right? If you play good fundamental defense, you should be pretty sound against everything. All right. Now, if you want to spill power and contain sweep. So if a play is designed to go off tackle or inside, you want to spill it outside. If the play is designed to go outside, you want to force it back in, right? So again, that's football 101. And we'll get more into that as I take you through the play diagrams. Play zone coverage, secondary players, eye discipline. All right, so why I'm going to go over when I go through these diagrams why you should probably play zone. It's harder to play man because you just can't account for 4 or 5 eligibles to one side. You know, you can't have your defenders aggressively play to run and then still account for 4 or 5 eligibles. You know, one of them is going to sneak out and you're not going to cover them. So I'll get more into that once we go through the diagrams. Match offensive line unbalanced with defensive line, match backfield unbalanced with linebackers, right? If their first level's unbalanced, you match it with your first level. If the backfield's unbalanced, you match it with your second level, right? So that'll pretty much assure that your alignment is pretty good every time. And I'll go more into that once we break down the diagrams. If both levels are unbalanced, then you have to overcall. Overcall for us means we're moving the whole defense over, which I'll show you in the play diagrams as well. All right, reduce number advantage with blitzes and stunts, create blocking confusion. Now, right, the whole idea of the beast offense is to just direct snap, run the ball down your throat, you know, just run behind 6 to 8 blockers. Defense only has 5, 6 people, right? So how can you eliminate numbers? You do that by creating blocking confusion. Like if you can confuse the tight end, you confuse the tackle, you know, they're going to slow down. They're pretty much going to take themselves out of the equation and just get in the way. So you could neutralize number advantages just by certain blitzes and stunts that you could execute without having to shift over your whole defense. And I'll go through some of those blitzes and stunts we like as well. And then this is a big one too, guys. I mean, all week you got to say like, hey, you know, when they come out in their beast, what do I always say? We're going to come out in our beast offense. When we come out in our beast offense, we're going to run the ball down your throat and there's nothing you can do about it. That's literally our mentality. When we practice the beast in practice, we get excited, we get pumped. That's the first thing I say to our kids. We're going to run the ball down the defense's throat and there's nothing they can do about it. So the kids get excited when they run beast. We get pumped when we run beast. On the flip side now, you have to get excited to defend it. Be like, you know, embrace the challenge. They're going to try to bully us. They're going to try to run the ball down our throat. Let's not get bullied. So on the flip side, you know, get excited. Like, oh, when they come out in the beast, like, yeah, man, let's go stop this crap. Let's get it. So like, get excited. So I think a lot of it is mindset too. And just, you know, and we have that mindset not just against the beast. Anytime we're playing defense, we try to get excited. We try to get pumped up. Defense is fun. Let's have fun. Let's run to the ball. Let's make some big hits. Let's make some plays. Let's get some turnovers. Let's score on defense. You know, that's the mentality we want to instill. All right. So those are just some keys defending the beast. And if you guys want this, just let me know. I'll email it to you. I don't know if anybody wants it. I'm going to create a blog on our website, Defending the Beast. It'll be just literally this. I'm just going to paste it and post it live on our website. Then I'll embed this video. All right, but let's go over Defending the Beast. All right, I'm going to start with our out of our 3-5 stack, and then I'm going to show you defending out of the 4-4. All right, and I have this kid as a strong safety. That's another linebacker. Whatever. All right. First beast formation, okay, is beast balance. This is what my team runs. This is basically, we really only run one beast formation. And we do run diesel, which is spread. But this is our go-to. This is what we're good at. This is what we practice the most in. So common beast formation is you get a 3-man surface to each side. And then you get the beast backs over to one side or the other. So this would be beast right for us. So now, a couple things to keep in mind, guys. The beast offense, the offensive line is balanced. So it's very important to understand that, okay, the first level of the offense is balanced. So we need to be balanced on our first level. All right. And then the backfield's unbalanced. So we need to match the backfield players with our backfield players for pass covering purposes and numbers. Okay. So the offensive line is balanced here. All right. So, and I'm going to take you through our 3-5 stack, and then we're going to take you through the 4-4. All All right, so our 3-5 stack against the balanced line with an unbalanced backfield, this would be our alignment. We would just say shift left. All right, our dog, we would actually call this press left, I'm sorry. So we would press left, which means it rolls up our corner. We're a cover 3 team, all right, but we play cover 2 if we're facing like the beast or the single wing, which is very similar. We will press to the unbalanced side and play cover 2 because it's harder to match. He's eligible, he's eligible, he's eligible, he's eligible just on this side of the center. So you only really have 1, 2, 3 defenders to match. So it's harder to play zone, harder to play man, especially if you want to aggressively play the run. Because if you're playing man, right, they have to watch their guy, and they're not going to get in their run fits. Whereas if they play zone, they realize, okay, it's play action. I just get out of my run fit, bail back to my zone, so it's easy. So it allows you to play aggressively against the run, and then once you realize it's not a run, the kid's throwing, then you could just open up and get to your get to your zone. And we'll play cover 2. So this will be a press left call for us. The safety would shift over. Corner would shift back. He's going to play this half. He's going to play this half. He's going to have his eyes on this guy. If he releases, you'll know it's a pass. We'll be a little weak to the flat here. If he goes a quick out, you could have the corner jump it. Dog could have the flat here. So, but you know, at the end of the day, you got to stop the run out of this. You got to stop the run out of the beast. All right. So our press call, our dogs are usually 2x2. All right, outside leverage. So in this case, we'll bring them down on the line of scrimmage, and they'll be on the outside shoulder of the tight ends, so they're more compressed in the box. Now the corner will be our primary force player. Right, he's going to set the edge, not box. He's going to set the edge. Boxing is stupid. It doesn't work. So many teams get gutted with boxing. You got to set the edge. That's how you contain. And I'll get a little more in depth with that in a minute. All right, so our corner is going to maintain outside leverage. So no matter how wide this kid is, he has to make sure he maintains his outside leverage. All right. So, and here's another thing too. A good way to determine if it's power or sweep is the alignment of these backs. If it's sweep, I mean, let's say it's power or blast. A lot of times they may cheat in because they'll have a better angle to kick out. If it's sweep, he'll cheat out a foot or two, all right, to give himself a better angle to seal. So how the offense is aligned in the beast does tell you a lot on what play potentially could be called. All right. So we're going to go, this is basically how we defend sweep and power out of this. All right, our DNs are stacked usually over the offensive tackle. In this case, we do like them on the inside shade because we don't want to be too wide because they'll gut us with ISO. So we really want our B-gap player to have inside leverage so he can anchor to B. And another important thing, guys, is don't run around blocks because you're going to create seams, right? If he slants himself, this kid slants himself down, it's going to create a seam. So we want to rip through, we want to work through the outside shoulder and anchor our B-gap. The inside shoulder of the tackle, rip through that, and then anchor our gap. All right. Now we're going to play through the tight end. We have 2 base calls. We go downtown and uptown. We're going to play through the tight end. So if it's downtown, he's going to have C-gap. So he's going to launch through, play through. We want to be physical. Get our hands on the tight end. Play through, and you anchor C-gap, and this kid will have this gap. All right. If it's uptown, we're going to play through the tight end. We're going to anchor this gap. This kid will have this gap. All right, and then the corner always sets the edge and funnels that back in. All right, so that's basically, I'll go over some of our blitzes in a second, but here's against the beast offense, kind of a balanced line with an unbalanced backfield. That's how we run the beast. All right, here's how we defend it to a 4-man blocking surface. All right, the offensive line is unbalanced and the backfield is unbalanced. All right, so we have to over our defense. Now, here's a very important coaching point. Our nose guard, he always lines up over the center of the formation, not the center. All right, this is the center. That's not the center of the formation. The center of the formation is this kid, right? Because look, we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The center of the formation in regards to the first level is this right guard. So we're going to over this. Okay, so this would be over right for us. We would go over press left for us would be the call. So we're going to over left, we're going to press left. So our defensive alignment, our base alignment with a balanced offensive line would be this. Okay, we line up on the nose. Okay, if it was balanced, let's pretend the tight ends here, they have 3-man surface to each side. It's balanced. So when they go with 4-man surface, we would just move over one blocker. So we're head up over him. We go over, we head up over him. We're head up on the center of the formation. We go over, we move up, we shift over him. He's usually over him when it's a balanced 3-man surface to each side. We go over, he's over him. So we're just moving over one player, all right? Because we play a lot of head-up technique, so we're just moving over one player. So now, once your first level of your defense is balanced, okay, is aligned properly against the offense, the rest of your defense will too. All right, so many teams they won't shift their line. They'll keep their defensive line like this in their base alignment and just shift the linebackers. That's not doing anything. All right, you have to over your defense. All right, so that's how we align to it when they give us a 4-man surface. 3-man surface, right? This is the center of the formation, so our center's on the center of the formation. Not the center of the formation. All right, so I want to get into a couple of our calls, our blitzes out of this, all right? And regardless of the call, our corner to the press side is always setting the edge, right? He's going to expand laterally, not always keeping his outside hip and outside shoulder free. We are expanding down the line of scrimmage. We're not expanding back, giving up ground. We're not boxing up field. We are expanding, and then this will force the back to slow down and give time to the defense to run to the football. All right, so I want to get into some of the blitzes, but I want to say, guys, one of the biggest mistakes defenses make is they'll just put everyone on the line of scrimmage. Let's say they do something like this. All right, they're loading up the line of scrimmage. They put 6, so basically only have 2 linebackers. All right, let's say you put 3 linemen here, 3 linemen here. All right, or you put a kid in each gap. You go gap 8. Do something like this. All right, you put everyone on the line of scrimmage. If they run this way, these guys are useless. You don't get any. You'll get this kid because he's second level, so he has room to run the ball. But these 3 kids are useless. You can't match numbers if everyone's on the line of scrimmage. Right? If you have everyone on the line of scrimmage and they run this way, everyone from here back is pretty much useless. So you're losing pursuit players. They're just going to be caught up in the mix here, and you're going to lose them. Yes, they can become cutback players, but you don't have flow to the football. So that's why putting everyone on the line of scrimmage isn't the right answer for this. And when we gut teams with the beast, that's the big mistake they make, is they just put everyone on the line of scrimmage and think that's going to work. When you only have one level of defense, all you got to do is break through the first level and you're gone. There's no pursuit. You can't match numbers when everyone's on the line of scrimmage. But if you have 3 linebackers, you could match 3 at the point of attack. If you only have 2 linebackers, you could only match 2. All right, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers. If these kids are on the line of scrimmage, you have 6 blockers to one side. You have 6 to 7 defenders on the line of scrimmage. Everyone opposite the play side is useless. You can't match those numbers. All right. And definitely go check out the video on the mistakes defenses make when defending us, and you'll see that actual game film of that and why it helps me offensively when they're throwing everyone on the line. It literally shows you. So go definitely check out that video. That'll help you actually learn how to defend it. All right. So let's get into some of our run blitzes out of it. All right. We know we're going to get sweep, or we're going to get blast, or even just a straight ISO play, interior ISO. So we have 2 calls. Downtown, he's going to play through the tight end. He has this gap. He has here. All right, so we would call this, we go downtown rip. So he would blitz down here. He's going to take this tight end with him. He's blitzing right offside him. So it's basically just a simple twist, right? They're just gap exchanging. All right, so that's a simple blitz that will create blocking confusion. He'll go here. If he goes out here, he'll be free. He goes down here, which this kid is going to work through tight end. So tight end's going to take the dog, so he's going to be free. And I do like blitzing. I don't like blitzing a lot of the kids, but I do like at least blitzing one. So, you know, they get the ball. Like a big thing with the beast, right? It's a direct snap. There's no handoff exchange. It hits much faster than if you had a quarterback taking a snap and handing it off. So you get much more opportunities for bad snap exchanges, fumbles when you're under center, and the plays hit slower. Whereas in the gun, it's a direct snap, he catches it and he goes. So blitzing this kid, getting him to where he needs to be right as the ball is snapped helps eliminate the momentum he has, right? We can match force with force. If this kid catches the ball and gets downhill fast, and this linebacker's slow in his run fit, you're in trouble. So I do like blitzing kind of right at that off tackle or right before the edge, because it helps spill the play outside or force it back in. All right, so I do like blitzing that. So he'll slant down here. He's free to blitz to here. He's going to blitz, kind of attack the outside shoulder of that wing. This cornerback is going to set the edge. He's going to have B gap. This kid's our free scraper. All right, and we're going to have him key this kid. He runs this way, we're filling that way. Now, to defend counter, you have to anchor backside, right? You can't chase laterally. You have to anchor your gaps. Same thing here. You want to anchor pursuit. You guys become cutback players. And then you are also the cutback linebacker too. So to defend counter, you got to have your cutback players. And then you also need to, you can have their Leo cross key. You could have him cross key this tailback. You could have him cross key this H, because if it's counter, it's likely this kid's going to either get the counter run or he's going to lead block to counter to him or him. So a good key is to key that inside blocking back opposite of you. So if it's power or sweep, if it's power, he's going to insert. If it's sweep, he's going to arc. So if he does insert or arc, it's power or sweep, so he could play a little more aggressive while still maintaining his cutback lanes. And then also, guys, keep in mind down and distance, right? If it's 1st and 10, you could pretty much got to defend everything. But if it's a long down and distance situation, or 2nd and 10, or 2nd and 8, they could run counter. So people are going to run counter on longer down and distance situations. So keep that in mind. And scouting is big too, right? Like if you know what they like to do on 1st down, you could find their tendencies. If you film a coach, you could see their tendencies. It's clear as day. Even us offensively, there's clear tendencies. You just got to get out there and scout. All right, so you could cross key that. Now another blitz we would call this uptown. He would slant through the tight end. On uptown, we kind of want him a little more square. We're going to slant through the tight end, and he is going to blitz this gap. So this is what we like against power, all right, because he's going to base out here. We're going to insert, and then we have this scraper, and he's the cutback. So uptown rip and downtown rip, simple gap exchanges that create confusion for the defense, confusion for the offense, sorry. And then when we call it, we want to make sure he stays stacked. We don't want to give away which one we're going. So if he hears downtown rip, he's going to, as soon as quarterback begins cadence, he's running up. He's stacked right behind our dog. Dog slant and C. He's going right off the edge on D gap here. All right, so that's a nice little play that generates confusion as well. All right, and then uptown would be here. He creeps up. As soon as the ball snap, boom, we're going here. So creates blocking confusion, right? And it slows down the blocking get off of this tight end, because this is we're pretty much attacking this tight end, right? Like we want to stop the off tackle and the sweep plays and counter. Off tackle, sweep, and counter is what we want to stop. Yes, we don't want to get gutted inside on a wedge or some kind of interior A gap or B gap ISO. But at the end of the day, if they're going to hit an explosive play on us, it's going to be off tackle, sweep, or counter. So those are the 3 we want to come out, and it's like non-negotiable. Those are the 3 plays we want to stop. Then we'll worry about the other stuff. All right, and then our 3-5, our nose is our biggest, best D lineman. All right, he's going to 2 gap it. So he has both A gaps. All right, so that's one blitz, uptown, downtown. It's simple, right? It just creates confusion. It's putting this kid in conflict. He doesn't know if this kid's going to slant out or he's going to slant in. So it just creates confusion and neutralizes this kid and pretty much eliminates one number, right? If this kid's playing slow, is get off slow, you're reduced. They're -1. They're 1 less blocker than they have. So that's how, what I was saying before, blitzes and stunts help slow this down. And then here's a blitz we love when we think it's power. You got to be careful with this one. Okay, you got to make sure your corners set the edge and your linebackers retrack. Okay, but this is a very, very tough blitz to pick, for the offense to pick up. Very good against power. All right, so what we do, this is a blitz we call storm. So pre-snap, our Mike would creep up. He's going to show like he's blitzing A gap. our DN is going to slant through the guard, and he's going to actually have the A gap. All right, he's going to slant, kind of anchor the A, but he's going to basically just run through the guard. We want to take away the guard, eliminate the guard. He is going to blitz B gap behind him. Our dog is going to slant downtown. All right, he's going C, and this kid's going to creep up, and he's going off tackle here. This corner is going to maintain the edge. He's going to set the edge, make sure that this kid stays outside, even if this kid's here and bangs it outside. We need to hold that outside leverage, right? Just because we could get it stopped at the point of attack, and if we get it stopped at the point of attack, this kid is going to look to bounce outside. So you got to teach your corners when they're setting the edge to don't insert because they think it's off tackle, because this kid could bang it back outside and hit a big play. How many times do you see that happen? A lot, right? Not with us, it doesn't, because we coach that. But here's our storm. Very nasty blitz. This kid and this kid are almost always free. So as soon as quarterback gets cadence, they creep up. He's showing he's going to blitz over the guard. Boom, he blitzes behind the DN slanting. He creeps up, stacked over the dog. Dog slanting through the tight end C gap. He's blitzing off the edge. So you have these pretty much these free rushers here. So this is our storm blitz. It's very good against off tackle plays. Right. So let's go back here. 4-man surface. Again, we would play the same games here. Nothing changes just because they're on the 4-man surface. The only thing that changes is our alignment, right? We're lined up on the center of the formation, not the center that's snapping. Downtown Leo. Oh, and guys, I'm sorry. This would be... These backers are labeled wrong. This will be our L. This will be our R. Leo's on our left stack backer. Rip's our right stack backer. So disregard that. But anyway. All right, so this would be over, and then we would Leo this. All right, we go downtown Leo. So let's draw that up. Here, here. Okay. Uptown Leo. Great against power. Here, here. Storm. Here, 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 here. And we set the edge. All right. So guys, just at the end of the day, defending the beast comes down to alignment. You just got to match numbers. Don't put everyone on the line of scrimmage. Have your linebackers free. You know, all these kids are able to run to the point of attack to match numbers. Now here's our look against the 4-4. All right, we will put our D tackle that's to the B side on a head up shade, whereas this one's playing like a one technique. He's going to be on the inside shade of our guard. There's just a little adjustment. This is not a strong safety. This is another linebacker. Let's call it the Rover. All right, he's not a strong safety. He's a linebacker. 4 D linemen, 4 linebackers. Now our outside linebacker to the B side. All right, we will press this. All right, he's going to maintain outside leverage, but he's going to be on the outside shoulder of the tight end. This corner is going to be pressed up. He's going to set the edge, and we are going to play cover 2 behind it. All right, because it's harder to play man, right? Like, who has the tight end? Probably him. He would have him. He would have him. Who has him? Right? You can't match all of it. So, you know, that's why it's better to play zone. All right, you're a little weaker to the opposite of B side flat, but if you're worried about a tight end quick out or something, you could have the corner be aggressive and jump it. All right, so that's just basic zone drops real quick. We're not really talking about pass coverage in the beast, which could be another video. But again, right, we're balanced up here, so our defensive line is balanced, right? 3-man surface, 3-man surface, that's how we align to it. The backfield is unbalanced, so we're going to take our outside backer. He's going to roll up, and he's going to maintain, he's going to be head up. Outside shoulder of the tight end. All right, so which would pretty much make him head up on the wing. All right, and the same games are being played as I said before. We got uptown, downtown. We got storm. Now this would be just a press left call for us. How we would line up if the backfield was balanced, meaning they don't have all the backs to one side, just to show you how it would look before. This would how it would look before, and we would be in our cover 3. All right, so the outside linebackers would be 2x2 with outside leverage. But if we were to press this, he would come up. Corners up 2. He's going to set the edge. We'd over this side. So we could have our linebackers match, right? Because you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers, not counting any pullers. So they have 6 blockers. How do we get 6 defenders? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We have to be able to match. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our Mike is the matcher. When he's keying him, he could cross key to this H-back end. All right. So that's the 4-4 versus a 3-man surface. Here's the 4-4 versus a 4-man surface. It's the same thing, guys. We're going to over left here. We're going to over press left. Right? Our double A gap defenders line up into A gaps. Well, technically it's not A gap, but they're going to line up on each side of the center of the formation, right? So this is the center. This is the center of the formation. So we're going to be here. Oops. We're going to actually be here. We're going to be here, and we're going to be here, right? Because we are lining up in our base way, which I just showed you. Just we're moving over. So everyone's just shifting over one gap, essentially, in the 4-4. And as I said before, we could still play all those games. We could play downtown. Okay. We can play uptown. We can play storm. So those are all the games we like to play against the beast. But guys, at the end of the day, it's really just alignment, assignment, attacking. Don't allow them to outnumber you at the point of attack. Don't put all your defenders on the first level of your defense because you won't be able to match the numbers. And then throw some blitzes and stunts at them, man. Any kind of blitzes or stunts you have, you could install it. You could still run them against the beast, just making sure you're aligned properly. And I feel like against the beast too, you really need to use your cornerbacks, right? You can't just, you have to get them in the game and really have them help contain. Just because, when you go direct snaps, it's 11 versus 11 now, right? The defense doesn't have that +1 advantage. When you have a quarterback in, a traditional quarterback, he's going to just take the snap, hand off, or throw to someone. Then he's done, right? Yeah, he'll hand off to the right, fake a bootleg left. But, when you direct snap, man, it's 11 on 11. So you don't have that +1 advantage anymore. So you need to use your corners. So I like to press to the unbalanced side with the corner, play cover 2 behind it so our pass coverage is simple. We can still play aggressive against the run and read its pass. Oh, that's fine. We just open up and run to our zone. Then we don't have to worry about finding our man, which, you're not going to be able to do. All right, so guys, I hope this helped.